watchers for our preview of round 6. On my right's Naomi from the netball, Keith, our resident reporter, and we've got our guest Fred here, who's actually wearing the Maui colours to show his support. They won their first game for the season, and Fred, I'm sure there's a few more to come, mate. Okay, round 6, first game, Mafra versus Maui.
Yeah, well, not sure it'll be back-to-back for Maui here. Might be back-to-back for Mafra. You know, they had a good win last week. Yeah, Maui, great win. Good to see them get that win on the board, and everybody's got a win now. And it's obviously a pretty tight and tough game in conditions. I think last Sunday, like a ground level, they'd have been fantastic at Maui, but I just think in the air it might have been a bit rugged with a bit of rain and a bit of wind. And but anyway, a good win and well deserved, and it's great to see them get that breakthrough.
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple of photos.
I think Mafra will beat them this week. It's at Mafra. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, well, I mean, there were some photos taken by a resident photographer, Jamie LaFrance, and there was a bit of water on the ground. But anyway, Mafra, yeah, I think they're going along nicely. They've had a couple of losses, but obviously had 3 good wins.
You're talking Mafra, and he's played pretty well all games this year. I see Daniel Bedgegood's not in the interleague side. Declared himself unavailable, did he?
No, we'll be talking about interleague next week, but the interleague is selected by a group of selectors. We have issues every year about who should be in and who shouldn't, but at this stage Daniel hasn't made it, but I'm sure the team that we put on the ground is going to be a very good team. Now with netball, we actually haven't got an A grade again.
Oh, well done!
I did remember that.
Well done.
We'll go on to the next game, which is Warragul hosting Bairnsdale.
Yeah, it should be one of the better contests for this week's round. I thought Bairnsdale may have done a bit better against Mafra last weekend, but I did also notice that James Gibbs wasn't in their lineup, and he's such a valuable player. He's such a quality player. I hope he hasn't got an injury that's a bit long term or anything like that. But Warragul going along okay. They had a nice little burst against Leongatha there on the weekend, and they're starting to put it together. Home ground advantage. It wouldn't surprise me if Warragul wins this one. I'll tip Warragul in this one.
Yeah, look, that's probably the closest match that, you know, on paper is the Warragul Bairnsdale, and yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't be surprised if Warragul do win this one. Yeah, and I'll follow up with you there. I'll suggest that Warragul will win it.
You'll suggest they'll win it, or you got to
I'll go with them. I'm trying to pick my words very carefully here, Keith. What do you reckon, Fred? No worries, mate. Okay, we'll go Naomi, the netball. Warragul Bairnsdale.
Well, Warragul are the only team in A grade yet to get a win, and with their star recruit in Renee Cook being out for the last couple of weeks and maybe a couple of more, I don't think that they're going to have any chance this week, and I think we'll see Bairnsdale take another win and get themselves above Mafra on the ladder.
Okay. The third game, Keith, this is Leongatha Parrots against your Druin Hawks. This is what's going to happen over at Leongatha Park.
Yeah. Mel's morass. Yeah, it's hard to see Druin getting up and winning this one. Leongatha, you know, haven't done anything wrong. It'll be interesting as the season goes on, and particularly when we get in the second half of the year and all clubs have played them and know a little bit what to expect. I think for most clubs, they don't know too much about how to plan against them at the moment, because they've got so many new guys who obviously can play. And Jay Best, who I did notice in the interleague squad, you know, he's probably got under the guard a bit, all the big names from Richmond and what, but he's had 2 6-goal hauls in a row, which is pretty good effort. So they've obviously got a top quality side. Druin, if they can, you know, Druin need the whole 21 to put in a really concentrated effort, and they can challenge. And you know, I don't rule out them winning, but I think Leongatha are certainly strong favourites. It's hard to go against them.
So you're not suggesting the team will go through unbeaten or anything, are you?
No, definitely not. I haven't seen Leongatha. I'll see them this week, and I'll make a judgment on whether I think they or Sale are the better side.
Okay. Yeah, Jake Best, interestingly, he's also, I think he's a captain of a district cricket club in Melbourne, actually. So he's a very talented sportsman in footy and cricket, obviously. And yes, he is in the initial team to go to Bendigo, so he's obviously shown the select or produced the goods in front of a couple of selectors to get put in that side. Leongatha Druin in the netball, Druin A grade are struggling a bit.
Leongatha are brilliant.
Well, I was going to say, on paper they're still as good a side as what they've been in the past, but definitely struggling to put it together on the court. Leongatha, on the other hand, are not struggling at all. Unbeaten, 2 wins clear of any other side in A grade. So as much as I'd like to see a Druin win, I think that we're going to see another trouncing by Leongatha this weekend.
A trouncing?
A trouncing.
Oh,
I think it's going to be painful.
Okay, we'll get Jodie Jodie Fraser. She might be up in arms about that statement.
Oh, she probably would be.
Okay, the next one, Morwell hosting Sale.
Yeah, again, a bit like Leongatha, you really can't fault Sale's first 5 rounds for the year. Very, very impressive. They've taken most before them, and good to see Dylan McLaren get on the field last week for Sale. Great to have AFL players and players of top quality come into the competition, so hopefully he can get through for the rest of the year without hurting himself or falling off a ladder or a scaffold or
whatever.
And he's there, but good to see them back. It only strengthens their side, of course, and I think they'll just have too many guns for Morwell. Morwell just have they play okay, but like a lot of the sides who are in that middle tier, difficulty once they get down that half-forward line of really rewarding their own work to get it there.
Morwell have shown in glimpses that they're a reasonable team, like all clubs at our level. But unfortunately, Sale is just travelling along very well. I'm not going to tip them to be unbeaten. Excuse me. But I would...
Did you nearly choke saying that?
I do believe that Sale will win against Morwell. So we'll go on to the netball in that one, Naomi.
So Sale have had quite a few close matches this year, but have managed to get the win most times. I think this week will be another close one. We'll bring it to them, but I do think that we'll see another win for Sale.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. The final match is Tarralgon v Wonthaggi, and that on paper looks like being a terrific clash, actually.
Yeah, I think if it was at Wonthaggi, I'd have no hesitation selecting Wonthaggi. Not quite sure how Tarralgon will line up this week, whether they get a few back or whatever. Saw Wonthaggi last week, obviously. Very impressed with their flexibility in their side. And those guys who are sort of 5'11" to 6'1" in the old language, don't ask me to convert it. But really good players, and they rotate them well in positions around the ground. Just a lot of quality there. They're a bit short in the key positions. They've got 2 big ruckmen, but I don't know how Earl Shaw will come up. He was off after 5 minutes last week. Didn't twist his ankle, didn't turn it. He just had a problem, his ankle blew up, so don't know what the go is with that. But they looked a good side. Gee, this is a 50-50. This is a bit of a Warragul-Bairnsdale clash. I sort of tend to Warragul at home against Bairnsdale, but in this one, I just think Wonthaggi are stabilised at the moment where Traralgon aren't. I don't think Traralgon being the way they've let in the home ground advantage will be a great influence in their favour. So I'll go for Wonthaggi. I think it'd be good for the competition if Traralgon won it, but I'll go for Wonthaggi.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the one thing I noticed about Wonthaggi last week is they're a much more disciplined side. Obviously, they're playing the way the coach has asked them to play, and they're playing good football. And I was pleasantly surprised with their form last week in terms of a league perspective. I actually think they will knock off Traralgon. Traralgon's got a few injuries at the moment, missing some star players, and I believe Wonthaggi will get over them. So we'll get onto the netball.
Well, Wonthaggi obviously was in Druin last week, and when push came to shove, it was Wonthaggi who managed to keep going. So I don't think that they're going to have any trouble against Traralgon this week, and we'll see Wonthaggi get their third win of the season.
Yeah, now that finishes it up for round 6 previews, but next Tuesday we'll actually be going to Maui. We're hoping Fred can make it since he supports Maui, but we'll do a preview on the Interleague and the East versus West 16s and 18s, which will be played on the Sunday. Seniors is at Bendigo on the 26th on the Saturday, and the 16s and 18s are on the Sunday at Maui. So that preview will be on next week. We hope you all get the opportunity to have a look at us next week. Thank you very much, and see you later, Naomi. See you, Keith, and see you, Fred.